The story begins in the future when Earth is close to ruin. The human population has exploded, and staying on their own planet is no longer possible. Companies find a new home, and humanity abandons Earth on a planet called Nova Prime. Soon disaster arrives. War with an alien species. The aliens release creatures called Ursas, bioengineered predators made to kill humans. An Ursa doesn't hunt by sight. It tracks people by smelling fear. The fighting lasts, and about 1,000 years before the present day, humans create an elite force, the United Ranger Corps, to survive. Even the Rangers can't stop the Ursas at first. The beasts slaughter countless humans, and no weapon seems to work for long. Then, everything changes when one Ranger starts killing Ursas without being detected. He has mastered ghosting, total control over fear. When his fear is gone, the Ursa can't sense him, as if it's blind. The war's momentum shifts, and humans begin wiping the monsters out. That first ghosting soldier is Cypher Rage, now a legendary ranger and a general. In the present, Nova Prime is shown as cadets trained to become rangers. One of them is Cypher's son, Kitai Rage. Kitai has trained for 2 years, but he still hasn't earned the ranger rank. When told to apply again next year, he begs his commanding officer to pass him. His father is returning from a long mission, and Kitai wants to tell him he finally made it. The officer still sees something missing in Kitai and rejects him. That same day, Cypher comes home. His wife, Faya Rage, is happy to have him back. At dinner, Cypher asks Kitai about his evaluation. Kitai admits he wasn't promoted, and the conversation turns into an argument. Cypher insists Kitai is young and can try again next year. Kitai hears it as disappointment. Afterward, Faya tells Cypher that Kitai doesn't need a general, he needs a father. Cypher decides to take Kitai with him on a training mission so they can spend time together and Kitai can learn in the field. The next morning, as they depart, a wounded ranger salutes Cypher and thanks him for saving his life and 4 others in battle. Because of Cypher, the man says, he lived long enough to see his own son again. Kitai watches what his father means to others. They board a spacecraft. On board is a captive Ursa, because some rangers are being trained to ghost. After takeoff, Cypher tells Kitai to sleep. Kitai dozes off, then wakes to find his father still resting. Curious, he leaves his seat and heads toward the secured section to see the Ursa. A guard stops him, but backs off when he learns Kitai is Cypher's son. Kitai approaches the cage. He wants to face the creature up close, but he still can't control his fear. The Ursa senses it immediately. Kitai's fear comes from childhood. An Ursa once attacked their home. Kitai survived, but his sister was killed, and that trauma still owns him. It's why he keeps failing. When the pressure hits, fear wins. Cypher suddenly wakes, feeling something wrong. He touches the ship's wall, reads the vibrations, and goes to find Kitai. He also contacts the pilots and warns them he believes a massive asteroid storm is forming ahead. The ship can't turn away in time, so he advises them to angle into the storm's direction instead of fighting it. Cypher admits he could be wrong. A pilot asks, "Sir, how many times have you ever been wrong?" Before Cypher can answer, the asteroid storm slams into them, and the ship is violently caught in the chaos. Cypher orders the pilots to get them out of the storm at any cost. The nearest approved world is too far, and he can't see a safe corridor. To save the crew, they'll have to land on the only planet in range, even without clearance. The pilots trigger an artificial wormhole jump and punch free of the asteroid storm, but the ship is already badly damaged. A planet fills the windshield. It isn't the one they planned for. A pilot suspects the navigation computer misrouted them. Then the system flashes a warning. Humans are forbidden from landing on this world. Cypher refuses, but the pilots show him the readings: hull breaches, failing thrusters, stress fractures through the frame. If they stay in space, the craft will break apart. Cypher gives the order: bring it down. He finds Kitai, rattled by the turbulence, and forces him to focus on his breathing. Before the ship can stabilize, the rear section tears away. Cypher is thrown across the cabin. Several crew members are sucked out into open space. Kitai blacks out, and seconds later the remaining section slams into the planet in a brutal crash landing. Kitai wakes inside twisted wreckage. His seat harness kept him alive. Most of the others are dead. He searches for survivors anyway until he reaches Cypher, unconscious and pinned. The crash has shaken Kitai so badly he can barely think, so he stays close, waiting. His calm tone is the only thing keeping Kitai steady. Cypher finally comes to and asks, "Are you okay?" Kitai says yes. Cypher calls out for the other Rangers, but no one answers. Their distress beacon could have called Nova Prime if it still worked. Cypher sends Kitai to the cockpit to find the gray case holding the beacon. Kitai brings it back, but it's smashed beyond use. Cypher's injuries are worse. Both legs are broken, and he can't move. He checks Kitai for trauma and finds him mostly fine. Then Cypher lays out the reality. The tail section separated during the crash and fell roughly 100 kilometers away. That section has a second beacon. Without it, no rescue signal goes out, and they will both die here. Kitai must retrieve it and transmit. Only now does Kitai understand the warning. The forbidden planet is Earth, abandoned for centuries. Humans left long ago because the atmosphere changed into something their lungs can't handle safely. But Earth's remaining life adapted. Animals and plants evolved to thrive without humans, and in many cases, to hunt them. Cypher hands Kitai his weapon and a survival pack with medical supplies and oxygen inhalers. Each inhaler gives about 20 to 24 hours of breathable air, leaving Kitai roughly 6 days if he uses them carefully. Kitai's suit is fitted with sensors and cameras, and Cypher promises he will watch the feed and guide him the entire way. Kitai asks what happened to the Ursa since it was being transported in the tail section. Cypher says it probably died in the breakup or is injured beyond survival, but he can't guarantee it. He steadies Kitai, gives him a final push of confidence, and sends him out. Stepping onto Earth, Kitai freezes. The landscape looks beautiful, but it feels like a trap. Cypher coaches him to kneel, stay low, and read the environment before moving. The routine settles Kitai enough to start walking the route Cypher plots. As Kitai climbs a rocky rise, Earth stretches out below, wild, quiet, and completely indifferent to the humans who once ruled it. Back at the wreck, Cypher launches small surveillance drones to scan for Ursa movement. His leg is mangled, and the pain is constant. He considers taking a painkiller, but it could knock him out, and Kitai needs him awake. Cypher chooses the pain and keeps listening. Kitai's voice returns through the comms as he pushes into dense jungle. His suit color suddenly shifts. Cypher explains the suit has environmental sensors and adaptive camouflage that changes tone to match the surroundings. Seconds later, Cypher's monitor pings. A living signal moving toward Kitai. Cypher warns him to brace. Kitai thinks it's the Ursa, but what appears is a massive baboon-like animal, aggressive and territorial. It locks onto Kitai and starts barking. Cypher orders Kitai not to move and not to provoke it. Kitai tries, but panic wins and he throws a rock. The animal screams and the rest of its pack rushes in. Cypher tells Kitai to run. Kitai sprints through the trees until he reaches a river and dives in. The pack stops at the bank and won't follow into the water. Kitai keeps running anyway, still flooded with fear. Cypher snaps at him to stop wasting energy. Nothing is chasing him now. Kitai only slows when Cypher's voice turns hard. One bad decision can kill them both. Kitai breathes, regains control, and finally listens. Reading the suit telemetry, Cypher notices a change in Kitai's blood chemistry. He orders Kitai to examine himself immediately, check for bites, cuts, or anything that could be poisoning him, because on this planet, even a small wound can become a death sentence. Kitai starts getting dizzy. When he looks down, a poisonous leech-like insect is stuck to his hand. He tears it off, but it has already bitten him. Cypher tells him to pull an injector from the pack. 2 doses, immediately. The venom hits hard. Kitai's vision fades and his legs wobble. Still listening, he forces himself to jab the first injection. The second is worse because his hands are swelling and going numb. Cypher talks him through it. Keep the injector in your grip, drop to your knees, and let your body weight drive the needle in. Kitai does it, and the second dose clicks home, saving him. He lies there shaking, fighting to breathe until the dizziness finally eases. Cypher orders him to stay put and rest. 5 hours later, night is coming, and Cypher wakes him over the comms. He must find warmth before the temperature crashes. Kitai is steadier and moves again, but he hides a problem. Of the 5 oxygen inhalers he started with, 2 broke during earlier falls. He doesn't admit it. Cypher hears Kitai's heartbeat jump and grows suspicious, but Kitai lies cleanly and keeps walking. He uses an inhaler and reaches a sheltered, warmer spot. Back at the wreck, Cypher bites down the pain from his shattered legs. He refuses sedatives because he needs to watch Kitai's suit feed. He launches drones again, scanning the tree line for anything moving toward his son. That night, Kitai asks how Cypher first learned to ghost. Cypher finally explains. On an old patrol, he was alone when an Ursa attacked and drove him into a river. The beast pinned him underwater. In that moment, Cypher saw his own reflection and accepted that he might already be dead. The fear dropped away, and the Ursa suddenly couldn't lock onto him. That was when Cypher understood the truth. Fear isn't a real thing you can touch. Danger can be real, but fear is a choice the mind makes. The trek drags on for days. Kitai must travel every day, then hunt warmth every night to avoid freezing. The next morning he finds the baboon pack's bodies near a riverbank. Something else killed them. Shaken, he pushes on until he reaches a high ridge. There, Cypher catches the lie. Kitai is down to 2 inhalers. To reach the tail section safely, he needs at least 3. Cypher runs route analysis. Climbing down the mountain the slow way will take days. Going around isn't possible. There is only one fast option: jump. Cypher hesitates, then orders an abort. Mission over. Come back. Kitai refuses. He insists he can make it, and the argument turns ugly. Kitai flashes back to the day his sister died and how he froze. He accuses Cypher of not trusting him and not being there. "You're the coward," he snaps, and before Cypher can stop him, Kitai leaps. His suit deploys wing panels, letting him glide and cut the distance quickly. Then Cypher spots a fast aerial signal and shouts for Kitai to move. Kitai looks back. A massive raptor-like bird is diving to kill. He tries to dodge, but it slams into him, snatches him up, and the connection cuts out. Kitai wakes in the bird's nest high above the ground. Chicks have hatched and peck at him like prey. Before he can escape, a pride of big cats attacks the nest, drawn by the noise. There are too many, and Kitai can't save the chicks or the mother. After the animals leave, Kitai realizes his comms are still dead. He is alone now. That night he shelters in a cave. With no guidance, he scratches a map on the wall pointing toward the tail section. At dawn, he uses his last inhaler, builds a crude raft, and rides the river to save time. Exhaustion knocks him out, and in a dream his sister appears, begging him to wake up. He jolts awake as snow begins to fall. He can't find shelter in time. The cold overwhelms him, and he collapses, half-conscious, remembering only someone dragging him and covering him with branches. Morning comes and Kitai is alive. The same giant bird saved him from freezing, shielding him through the night. Kitai staggers forward and finally reaches scattered wreckage. The tail section is nearby. He's out of air and struggling to breathe, but inside he finds spare inhalers and takes one. Then he checks the Ursa cage. Empty. The Ursa escaped. Panicked, Kitai reestablishes contact with Cypher, who sounds weaker from blood loss as Kitai reports what he found. For an entire day, Cypher hasn't seen Kitai or heard his voice. He's terrified the silence means his son is dead. So when Kitai finally comes through, Cypher feels relief, until he realizes the connection is too damaged for his words to reach Kitai. Kitai has the beacon now. He tries to transmit, but nothing goes out. On Cypher's monitor, the reason is clear. Nearby volcanic activity has charged the sky, forming an electrical layer that jams the signal. Kitai needs higher ground to break through it. Cypher can only watch, wishing he could tell him. Kitai lifts the beacon and starts climbing a mountain. Every step is heavy, and the fear of the escaped Ursa stays in his chest. Cypher already knows the creature is loose, and he knows Kitai has to send the signal fast, before the Ursa finds him first. Halfway up, it does. The Ursa appears, and Kitai's childhood terror surges back. He runs, and the more fear he spills, the easier it is for the beast to track him. Kitai reaches the summit, but before he can activate the beacon, the Ursa catches him. Cypher watches through the suit camera as the monster tears into his son and drops him to the ground. Kitai lies there bleeding, and then Cypher's lesson hits him like a switch. He forces his mind to change. He releases the fear. The Ursa is right in front of him, yet it can't see him anymore. Kitai rises, grabs his weapon, and fights back without panic. He kills the Ursa. Cypher stares in disbelief, watching his son do what only the best rangers can do. With the threat gone, Kitai turns on the beacon and finally sends the rescue signal to Nova Prime. Not long after, rangers arrive and pull them out. As they're taken home, Cypher stands, looks at Kitai, and salutes him, just like that soldier once saluted Cypher. The crash that nearly destroyed them ends up bringing father and son closer. Kitai proves himself, and they return home, alive.